This is the sound that I love.
Is that the sound that you
This
love,
is
Hannah?
the music which I live. Follow me.
This is just best of hard dance. This is best of very hard dance.
Cause this rocks. This rocks. Cause this rocks. This rocks.
Okay, so this morning I had a really weird one. So, okay, hold on. Let me just make sure how it started exactly. Well, it basically started. Okay, so I think I did actually have. I didn't have a bunch of bathrooms on the brain or anything. But you know, the aliens are always, well, Joel, he's always sticking me in nasty ass bathrooms and shit. And, okay, you guys gonna have to move, baby. I can't stretch out like that. Okay, watch out. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so like, on the north part of town, well, for some reason I did have that grocery store on the brain over there on the north part of town. It used to be like a Ramey's or something, but I never even been in there. Some of the stores on the north part of town are really old, and a lot of them may not even be there anymore. But I did have that store, I think, on the brain, like before this experience. Like for whatever reason, it's near Commercial Street or something like that. Yeah. Or on Commercial Street? Yeah, it's either near or on. But I don't know what it is now. I mean, there's a lot of old buildings over there. And, because I know, you know, that's what sort of, I think Joel was trying to copy off, like, the north part of town, so to speak. Like, he placed me in the north part of town. And, the second scene went kind of on into that store. Except that time Joel didn't show me the name of that store. And when I woke up, I almost forgot that second scene after I walked out of the first store. But the first store wasn't a grocery store. So basically, like if you go all the way down Glenstone, North Glenstone, on the left side of the road, this is in my experience, on the left side of the road down North Glenstone, but this is how it started. On the left side of the road, on North Glenstone, there was, well, from the outside it looked small, but on the inside it was like anything but on the outside it looked small. Just like a plain little building. I mean a small little building. And it was standalone. And on the right side, like if you're standing in front of the building, on the right side there was like there was no buildings or anything, or at least not till, you know, way, way far away. There's no buildings. Now on the left side, there was, on the left side that there was a couple buildings, but I didn't see the names of the buildings, but they were about the same, same style as the building that I was in. And at the end of the scenario, my mom, it was like she picked me up in the car. And then, boom, I was in that second grocery store. But yeah, it's really weird because there's actually one virtual reality part. Well, it was all kind of virtual reality. Because, you know, the aliens, they could, they could make you do anything in these scenarios, and it feels so real. And like Joel, I mean, but so basically it started out, okay, now as far as I remember, I didn't see the name of the building. I can't remember if I saw the name of the building before the scenario started or when I came out. And I think I didn't see it. Yeah, I didn't see it till I came out because the scenario started in the building. Okay, so basically this is so funny. It was kind of like, well, in the scenario, Joel, he didn't really program me to think it was kind of like a kaleidoscope kind of place. But that's not what he programmed me to think. Basically, I was programmed to think that it was that it was a place where artistic people went, and that's what but after I woke up, that's when I started to think, like it was like I thought Joel's kind of started to sort of give me the impression that it was a kaleidoscope. I mean, that's after I woke up. I felt like after I woke up, I felt like it was kind of it was supposed to be like a kaleidoscope type of place, but it wasn't. It was actually it was just an artistic type of place for, well, anyway, this is kind of funny. It was, what do you call it? Like a new age artistic kind of place where people, that are into arts or acting or whatever went. But anyway, so this is funny. This was the name of the place, and I didn't see. I looked up there, and I didn't see the name of the place till I walked out of the building. And it was called Dreams and Fantasies. And then right beside Dreams and Fantasies, it said Magical Worlds. Dreams and Fantasies, and then slash or hyphen or whatever, and then Magical Worlds. That's what it said. That's why I hurried up and wrote this down so I wouldn't forget what it was called when I woke up. But yeah, so I looked up on the building and it said Dreams and Fantasies and then Magical Worlds right beside it. And by the Magical Worlds, it had like I thought it was, when I looked at it, I thought it was a moon. I don't know if it was actually a planet, but I thought it was a moon, and it was bluish, purplish. And maybe it was a planet, but to my impression or whatever, I thought it was a moon. But anyway, so there was a big moon beside Magical Worlds. So it said Dreams and Fantasies and then Magical Worlds. And then it had a big moon beside it. And it was purplish, bluish, and it also had like stars in the middle of it. Like white stars. And I put down here kind of like kaleidoscope, because I don't think he was trying to give me the impression that it was kaleidoscope, but when I woke up, that's the only thing I can think of, like Dreams and Fantasies or whatever, or a store like that would kind of be like kaleidoscope. But he didn't give me that impression in the scenario, because like I say, these aliens are so creative. I mean, it literally was, Dreams and Fantasies, Magical Worlds. But like I say, when I woke up, I was trying to, I was like, well, kaleidoscope would be like, I mean, in my mind, I would think, you know, like kaleidoscope would be kind of similar to what, what the building that I was in, Dreams and Fantasies-Magical Worlds. It would be kind of like a kaleidoscope type of, I mean, I don't know why I thought that. Because it really like wasn't a kaleidoscope. But the funny thing is, there was nothing in there. I mean, okay, this is where it all gets really weird. Okay, so basically, I was just, after I woke up, I was like, weird, Dreams and Fantasies, Magical Worlds. I was just like, was that supposed to be kind of like a kaleidoscope type of place? But Joel didn't give me that thought in the scenario. He didn't give me that thought or anything. But that's just kind of like, for some reason, what popped in my head after the scenario, after I read, that's where I was at, Dreams and Fantasies, Magical World. And there's not a place, now as far as I remember in the scenario, when I saw, the building and everything and the sign, the Dreams and Fantasies and Magical Worlds, the title of the business, as far as I remember, I was thinking that, I was like, wow, this is like a new business that popped up, because I hadn't been down in that part of town in a long time. And then, in the scenario, it was like the same situation. I hadn't been in that part of town in a long time. Yeah, so it was, I remember. Yeah, so that was my thought. When I read it and everything, Dreams and Fantasies, Magical Worlds, I knew that it was just kind of like a newer business that cropped up in the past, 5 or 6 years. And, but anyway, that was wild. It was wild. I mean, I don't know where Joe comes up with this, but that was pretty, I know where he came up with it. I know where he came up with Magical Worlds, because I was playing the unicorn, the flying unicorn. And I know I saw that word somewhere. I saw it somewhere, or somebody had said something about Magical Worlds. So yeah, so he put that in here. That's cool. Yeah, or when you read about flying unicorn, or it may have been some other games too, it said something about Magical Worlds. Yeah, so that's why he created this building for me. Okay, and so anyway, so the scenario started when I was on the, on the inside walking around. Okay, wait a minute, some more's coming back to me. I was on the inside of the building, and like I say, it was supposed to be a building for artistic people. And, which I'm not really, but, yeah, so, okay, hold on, because I'm trying to think of something here. Because as far as I remember, my mom may have like dropped me off too. I know she came to pick me up. Well, all I know is I did get my mom was out waiting for me or something, and I got what do you call it? Separated from my mom, and that's when it all started. It's like she was out there waiting on me, and yeah. I remember. It's all coming back to me now. Okay, so she was out there like waiting on me, and I think I said I would just go in there for a few minutes, but then I had to go pee pee, so I had to go to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden, the place is like nothing but toilets. I mean, it's nothing but toilets. And the place was huge inside. Nothing like from the outside. It looked like a small building. And once you were in there, it was freaking huge. Like 5 times bigger than, or I don't know, 8 times bigger than what it looked. And so, yeah, so my mom was waiting for me outside. And then I was about to hurry up and like go in there and observe whatever I was going to observe. And then go pee pee and then go back out to meet her. Well, I know... I was in that damn place for like 2 hours trying to find the perfect potty to sit down and go pee pee. Okay, so, and the funny thing is, I only got up one time in real life to go pee pee. And I like ate tons of watermelon. And then I chugged a bunch of water too. So that's kind of odd to only go to the bathroom one time. Because normally I'd be getting up 3 or 4 times eating that much watermelon and drinking that much water. but maybe I don't know, maybe I ate a bunch of salt or something, and then my body absorbed the rest of the water. I don't know. So I went in, so I was inside, and I was trying to hurry up, because my mom's always like rushing me and stuff. So I was in the scenario, and my mom was trying to rush me, and I told her I wouldn't be very long. And this is where I go around trying to find a toilet, and there's quite a bit, and basically it was all communal toilets. It was, there was no doors or anything like that. It was just all in the middle of the building. I mean, just tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of toilet after toilet after toilet after toilet after toilet. I mean, so you may as well say, like, if you go into a grocery store and there's no groceries or anything in there, and it's nothing but toilet after toilet after toilet that covers 80% of the middle part of the store. That's what it was like. Toilet after toilet after toilet. And they were all fucking nasty. Most of them were nasty. And I kept going around, walking around to find the perfect clean toilet so I can hike my ass down on. And, they were all just dirty. And there was tons of, there's some other part coming back to me. Because I thought a lady had said something to me or something. But anyway, and so I know some conversations I always forget, but I know I did have some conversation with some people I didn't know. Like a woman said something to me. She was probably 50s, something like that, or late 50s. Or maybe I said something to her pertaining to, how come I can't find a decent, clean bathroom or toilet or whatever. But anyway, so literally the toilets were only like about two. No more than like 3 feet apart. Just toilet after toilet after toilet after toilet after toilet. And there was many, 1, 2, 3, I don't know how many aisles or whatever, but there's many, many, many aisles. All the toilets took up, 70% of the store, the middle part of the whole store, 70% of the whole store, all in the middle part. And so anyway, I was walking around. I walked to this toilet and I tried to sit down, and I was like, nope, I don't, that looks too gross. So I'd go to another toilet and I'd be like, okay, well, maybe I can sit down on this toilet. And I'd be like, no, it's out of toilet paper. Or, the toilet looked gross, so I didn't sit down on that toilet. So, and I spent 2 hours doing that. And then I knew a bunch of time went by, and I'm thinking, okay, my mom's going to get mad, But anyway, so toilet after toilet after toilet. I just kept walking on down the aisles, and I remember seeing people get up and then sit down, and get up and sit down. And there's like no doors or anything. It's just all toilet after toilet after toilet after toilet. And, the funny thing is, I can't believe Joel, if I did, I don't remember. I can't believe he didn't make me smell anything weird, but he didn't, as far as I remember, unless I'm forgetting that part. But, it's just toilet after toilet after toilet. And I remember the toilet I finally did sit down on, and I literally peed. I peed the whole, until I was done. And then I looked for some toilet paper, and there was just like a little bit of toilet paper. He's just copying off Barnes & Nobles, because every time you go in there, like, there's no toilet paper, But that was kind of funny. That was all virtual reality. I did literally finally find a toilet that was somewhat clean, and I sat down and I literally peed, just a normal time, like, I don't know, 20 seconds or whatever. And until, it all came out. It was normal. It was all virtual reality. But anyway, before that point, I was walking up and down every single freaking aisle, and there's probably, 20 or 30 toilets in all those aisles, bam, 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 rows or aisles of toilets. And some of them had small, tiny little sinks next to them, and some of them didn't. But yeah, a lot of them had tiny little sinks. And as far as I remember, I don't necessarily remember any water coming out, but apparently, it did. And but there was this is funny. There was this one toilet that I went to before I actually found a decent toilet to actually virtual reality sit down on and pee, for 20, 25 seconds or whatever. There was this one toilet. It was so funny. Well, the funny thing is, it wasn't a toilet at all. But in the scenario, I thought it was a toilet. It's like Joel was trying to copy off the boat seats or something that I have outside. I think it was those seats I have outside was made of like boat material, like vinyl that you cover up the seat. And Joel was trying to copy off that material or something, but it was softer in my scenario. It was softer, but it was like not styrofoam, not foam. It was more firmer than foam. A little more firmer. I mean, yeah, there's some kind of foam in there, but it was more firmer than foam. But there was this one toilet seat where God damn it, where it was about 6 or 7. It was basically kind of like 6 or 7 cushions that were stacked up on top of each other. 6 or 7 dark grayish cushions that kind of had like a rubbery, soft vinyl material over all little cushions. And so I was about to sit down, and what you did, you somehow straddled it, and you like took a piss. It was so weird. But that was supposed to be a toilet. And so I proceeded to like sit down on that, and all the cushions came falling over. The cushions came, which is supposed to be a toilet. They came falling over, and which was kind of hilarious. And I know why Joe copied that from my brain, because sorry, Hannah, I have a bunch of foam stacked up in the garage. But these cushions in my scenario, they were shaped kind of like triangles, but they weren't. They were like long, really shitty looking triangles. They weren't perfect triangles. They were shaped kind of like, let's see, kind of like, well, like I said, they weren't perfect. They were just shitty triangles. But they were just kind of like, and they were about, let's see, about 7, maybe 7 or 8 inches. They're about 7.5 inches wide, and about 24.5 inches long. And like I say, a triangle is like this, but they were just like real shitty looking triangles. They weren't really a triangle. They were just a very, very long triangular. They weren't perfect shape. It wasn't a perfect shape or whatever. It was basically kind of like a triangle is like that, but it was just basically like that, except it may have been a little more narrow right here. And it was like 7 or 6. And they were about 4 or 5 inches thick. Yeah, but that was supposed to be a toilet. But all the other, toilets, were actually, toilets. They looked like toilets. Except for those foam cushions, that did not look like a toilet, but it was a toilet. It was so funny. Okay, so then, now after, I can't remember what came first, but so after I tinkled, I went back behind where all the toilets were, and there were some other aisles, but there was nothing on the aisles. There was nothing there. And this is what's so weird. I mean, it was 100% real. But like I say, even though it was called Magical Worlds and shit like that, there was nothing in there. except for freaking toilets. Except I'll get to the end in a minute. So after I went tinkle, okay, let me see if I remember I wrote it down, but I can't remember if it was Lola and Vida or something like that. Hold on. It's called, Vida and Lola or something like that. Oh, Vida and Lola. It's called Vida and Virginia. There's this, okay, there was this, and God, it was a freaking weird one too. Okay, it was called Vida and Virginia. Okay, so this is like so weird. And like I said, I told you before that this place was for artistic people and for like, you know, actors, actresses would go in there, you know what I'm saying? So after the gross, all the toilet, and by the way, the little sink, I remember looking at one of the little sinks. The sink was like silver. And, or it was silver, you know, silver color or whatever. But, so after I went tinkle and after I walked around and looked at trying to figure out what the best toilet is to sit out on because they all were freaking gross. Oh, by the way, there was this other toilet. I think it was a different toilet. It may have been the styrofoam one that I sat down on or on the foam one. I can't remember, but I remember my hand falling into one of the toilets, my arm or something. And I took my arm out and it kind of had like shit stains on it. And yeah, it was like really weird. But yeah, Joel gives me really weird ones like this sometimes. But I do remember that, and then I remember going to one of the sinks and washing it off. But so after all of that, like, this is the funny part. I go in the back of the store where all the back of the store behind all the toilets, and then like I say, there was like some shelves and stuff, but there was nothing on the shelves. There may have been some books or something, and I don't remember. But as far as I remember, there wasn't really, there was like nothing in the store besides toilets, except for the last part of the scenario. The scenario, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But so I started walking around the aisles at the back of the store, you know, where the very, very back of the store, the toilets finally stopped. There wasn't any toilets back there. But the toilets covered the whole inner part, 75% of the inner part of the store. And all of a sudden, so I was walking back and forth, and all of a sudden, Vida and Virginia are like walking around, and it's like they don't even see me. And one of them was well, in the movie, one of them's kind of short, one of them's kind of tall. But in the scenario, the one that was tall in the movie, in the scenario, she was like really tall. I mean, like way taller than me. And I just looked up and I was just like, wow, she's pretty tall. And the other one was, of course, a little taller in the scenario than in real life in the movie. But the other one was kind of tall in the movie, but not as tall as in the scenario. And I think Vida was the short one and Virginia was the taller one, I think. And yeah, and so the funny thing is, I was like, wow, like, and I mean, it was them to a T. It was them 100% to a T. And they were like oblivious. It's like I was invisible. They could not see me. It was so weird. It literally was like they were I was invisible to them. And as far as I remember, it's kind of like they even sort of like walked through me. But they were totally physical. I mean, it was them 100%. And I just couldn't believe it was them. And I started thinking in my head, like, why are they in this town? And I knew that they were probably in this town because there was some kind of movie festival or something like that for actors and actresses. And because I already told you before, at the beginning of the video, it's for artistic people, you know, actors, actresses, and shit like that. But that was like so weird. I mean, it was them to a T. And also I was thinking, why do they look like that? Because I knew that they shouldn't be looking like that in real life, you know, because they only look like that in the movie, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so that was really weird. And but like I say, it's like I was invisible to them. And so then I finally started to walk out the front door, so my mom could pick me up. And right there was like there may have been more than one cash register, but there was a cash register and a huge long aisle of nothing but it was like hot tamale candy, like big boxes, hot tamale candy. There was a couple other candies, but I can't remember what they were. But 80% of the boxes were like hot tamales. And because Joel knew I used to like hot tamales a long time ago. And I looked at all that candy and I'm like, wow, this is like, kind of like being at a movie theater. I mean, Joe put that in there in the scenario because it's kind of like, it's kind of like he was copying off a movie theater, putting all that candy right there. So that part was hilarious. Okay, so, and I didn't buy any or anything. I knew, that I probably couldn't eat it, because even the scenario now, when I'm in my scenarios, I know I can't really eat stuff because, I mean, sometimes I do, but I know, I don't because I know, even in the scenarios, I know it has gluten and all that shit. So a lot of times, I don't mess with it. But sometimes I do eat it because I know it's okay since I'm, out of body or whatever. But yeah, so I didn't buy any hot tamales or anything. So then when I go outside, that's when I look up and I see the title of the store, and that's when it said Dreams and Fantasies-Magical Worlds, and then it had the blue moon with the white stars in the middle, and the blue purplish moon. It was very pretty color. And okay, so after that, we actually did it. I don't remember. We didn't actually get into the car and everything. I remember seeing my mom, there picking me up, and then boom, the scene pops to that grocery store I just told you about. Kind of over there off of Glenstone, off of Commercial Street. And I forgot it's near Commercial Street. Oh, I don't know if it's still there, but Joe was trying to sort of copy off of that. And then all I know is I was in that grocery store. The only reason I'm talking about it is because before I went into the grocery store, I remember looking over there and seeing the name of the grocery store. And, oh, I know where he got that from. Oh my God. Yeah, seeing the name of the grocery store. And I was like, wow, it changed names. Because a lot of times when years go by, and grocery store names will change names. And guess what it said? It said, I looked up at the grocery store name, and it said, oh man, I know where he got this from. It said Grocery King. Okay, but this is weird. Okay, it said Grocery King. And I want to say there maybe was another word, like something Grocery King, but I'm not positive. But I do remember seeing Grocery King. And now I just realized he copied off. There was a store, but I can't remember what it was called. I thought it was called King Grocery or something like that. And Joe maybe got it backwards. But I could have swore it had a king in it somewhere. And that store was up there on Battlefield. King Cash Saver? Shit, I can't remember what it was called. But I'm pretty sure King was in the name. In the real store in real life. King Cash Saver or something like that. But the stupid store, it didn't. Ew, I didn't like that store. It didn't even last longer than a year, but that's where Joe got that name from. But in the scenario, it was called Grocery King. But Joe got that from King Cash Saver. And I think that was the name of the real store. I'll have to look it up. But so then I went inside and I was only gonna get like 6 or 7 things to make like cheese dip, and that's it. I was just gonna buy like six or seven things, and that's it. So I went and rounded up and got my 6 or 7 things. Oh, which I already kind of wrote that down here. I jotted some little notes down here. And the funny thing is, like, I don't know what the hell I was doing. There's some, Joe, yeah, put some weird stuff in here that makes no sense. But I went, I was over there, after I gathered my stuff up, which I guess it was laying there in the cart. I'm not sure where it was. And in my hand, there was like these little, I had these tiny little pieces of paper, like little notepad papers, but none of them were the same shape or anything. And for some reason, I remember I started going, like, I don't know if it was Joe meant for it to be money or what the hell, but it wasn't money. It was like just little pieces of paper that I was just like, pew, 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 pew. And which made no sense because it wasn't money. I don't know what Joe was trying to make me think it was or whatever, but that made no sense. And I was just kind of like, I don't know where I was setting it down at. I guess I was setting it down on a rack that was sitting there or something. But I remember after I got the stuff, after I gathered up the 7 items, like I had these. Well, I guess I could tear this up now. Yeah, it was just like all these. It was like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 pieces of paper, small pieces of paper like this, and I was just like that. And when I woke up, I was just thinking, what the hell was that, you know? But yeah, maybe Joe meant for it to be money or something. But yeah, and well, that particular scene, it wasn't. The first scene was, I mean, the first scene with all the bathrooms and stuff, that was pretty much, you know, B+ scenario. But that second scene definitely wasn't B+. That was more like C+ scenario. And like I say, when I woke up, I almost forgot it until that second scene came back to me, the grocery store scene. But yeah, that was weird because why would I be doing that? Oh, I know what Joe probably meant for that. He was just trying to copy off of, maybe because sometimes I go in my room and I count my receipts or whatever. Well, not count the receipts. I go through the receipts just to see how much I spent for that month or whatever. So maybe that's what he thought, maybe that's what. But there was nothing on it. They weren't receipts. As far as I remember, there was nothing on the pieces of paper. I mean, there may have been some little something on there, but I just remember seeing just plain pieces of freaking paper. And I was just like, blah, 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 blah. It was just plain pieces of paper. But that's what Joe, like I said, this is more like a C+, C-, that second scene. But that's what he meant for it to be, like I was shuffling receipts that I would keep. Well, anyway, but I thought it was kind of a cool experience. The names and stuff that he named the store, and all the toilets, like, was gross. And anyway, that was kind of a cool scenario because of the names and stuff. The Dreams and Fantasies-Magical Worlds. I thought it was kind of cool. Let's see, I think I said everything. Well, thanks for listening. Okay, and that experience was today, April 22nd. Thanks for listening.